Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eitistad, and today we're taking a look at two of the new buildings from the new Jurassic World Evolution DLC, Return to Jurassic Park. This DLC focuses on returning to Isla Nublar, as well as Isla Sorna, soon after the events of the original film, and pretty much rebuilding Jurassic Park, stabilizing it, and finally opening it to the public. Today we're going to be starting a handful of videos focusing on features we already know are in the DLC, which this is from screenshots provided by Frontier themselves or the development build, which videos were released very recently. We're going to focus on those buildings and features, what they do, and what they could possibly do in the new campaign, as well as the challenge, sandbox, and all those other fun game modes. Today we're going to be starting off with some of the most iconic buildings, I think, from the movie, the Visitor Center and the Park Gates. So, without further ado, let's begin. Actually, before we begin, if you could hit the like and subscribe button on this video, that would be greatly appreciated. Also, some of these screenshots are from Bestinslot's videos, so credit to him, and of course, Frontier has some of their promotional screenshots and video up here. Now, on to the video. First and foremost, the gate. Return to Jurassic Park allows us to finally be able to play around and place some of the iconic buildings and locations from the original film. So that would include the fences, emergency bunker, and of course, the gates. The park gates aren't actually nothing special or unique. Of course, besides the fact that they are the original Jurassic Park gates from the original film, which is freaking awesome to have in the game, finally. For the function of the gates, they will work as any ordinary tour gates. Now, the tour gates are when you're taking your gyrosphere or tour truck, you reach a fence, and a gate appears to allow you to go into your next enclosure past the fence. The Jurassic Park gates will work like that. There is no limit on them, so if you want to, you can place as many of them as you want. Might look a bit weird, but you can do that. As far as we can tell, there is no disadvantage to using the Jurassic Park gates. They keep dinosaurs out, allow you to pass, and in some cases, keep the dinosaurs in their enclosures. However, it is unclear whether or not our ranger teams will be able to pass through these tour gates at all, unless they're opened by, of course, our tour trucks. It has not been confirmed by anyone who went to the event and got to actually play the first mission of the game, as well as in Sandbox, whether or not the ranger teams can drive up to them and pass through them. I'm assuming no, because in the normal game, you can't drive up to a tour gate and pass through it. However, of course, one of the scenes in Jurassic Park is Nedry driving through the gates in one of the TS Jeeps. So it is theoretically possible, but I highly doubt that is going to happen. But of course, we'll have to wait and see until the DLC comes out on December 10th. Next and finally is the Visitor Center. The Visitor Center copies the iconic design from the original film down to the fossils above the door and "When the Dinosaurs Ruled the Earth" banner appearing fallen on the ground when the building is damaged by storms. Which, point Frontier, this is amazing. The fact that you can see the banner when the building's damaged, great. Frontier, you know what you're doing. You know how to do fan service, especially something like that where it fits. Anyways, however, you can't physically enter the building, which was a rumor. You can't. It's just a regular building in Jurassic World Evolution. It still adds a nice Jurassic Park touch to any park that you're going to be building. Of course, this is exclusive to the 1993 era of park building, so you can't put this replacing your innovation center in your already pre-made saves. Hopefully, one day, hopefully very soon, Frontier comes out with a ruined and overgrown visitor center for us to place in our parks, because they already have the nice model. Now all they have to do is take that and pretty much destroy it, and then maybe we can place that in our Tyrannosaurus Rex enclosure or something, and that'd be kind of a cool thing to have in our main Jurassic World Evolution gameplay. However, moving on. The Visitor Center's main function is to be your home base of operation. Therefore, it replaces your three core buildings of the Fossil Center, the Research Center, and the Expedition Center. These centers work as additional modules that you can place onto your Visitor Center, and each most likely cost $200,000 to construct. This is pretty cool because that means a lot of space is saved. Now in Jurassic World Evolution, you have to bargain room for your 3 centers. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of issues unless you're playing in, of course, sandbox mode. We didn't get to have a good look at the fossil or expedition centers or modules just yet. However, Mission 1 gave us a really good look at the research module. However, there is a lot of research in that research module, so I'm going to save that for another video. But briefly, I want to cover just a few things. First, Mr. DNA appears every time you open up the research center. Point Frontier, this is awesome. Like I said, Frontier knows how to do fan service without making it weird. And, like throwing Mr. DNA somewhere random, they throw him here. That's great. Applause to Frontier. Secondly, we're going to talk about some of the upgrades that are in the visitor center. They are the following: counter-espionage upgrade and DNA sequencer. We don't exactly know how these are going to work. We get an in-canon explanation, which you can see on screen right now. However, we don't know exactly how they're going to work for our physical gameplay. I'm guessing, and Bestinslot did say, these don't appear in sandbox mode and other modes of the game. I'm guessing that they are just campaign exclusive and meant to make the campaign a bit more interesting, because if we all remember, we've kind of been harsh on Frontier's Jurassic World Evolution campaigns. We've all said that the original one was really boring, and yeah, nobody really liked the original one, and Secrets of Dr. Wu didn't really give us any new insights on something revolutionary for Fallen Kingdom. Claire Sanctuary was pretty much an imaginary story. The campaign wasn't canon at all, because if you remember in Fallen Kingdom, the dinosaurs never made it to Sanctuary. We don't even know if Sanctuary actually exists. So not a lot of people were too fond of the campaign in Claire Sanctuary. I will say it was good, but I mean, it's not exactly canon, so it's not too important on my list. So I find it really cool that they're adding research items that just appear for the campaign to kind of tie it all in. Because remember, counter-espionage upgrade, Dennis Nedry tried to perform industrial espionage, so that makes sense. And DNA sequencer, the frog DNA and the dinosaurs breeding, which, however, there is breeding countermeasures, medical dart treatment, but I'll cover that in another video because there's a lot to talk about just with that one medical dart treatment. I also want to say, you have to remember, this is a month-old development build, so anything could technically be possible. This is, of course, from October. The actual DLC releases to the public on December 10th, so they did have a little bit of time to edit things and change it how we want. However, I really don't think that counter-espionage and DNA sequencer are going to end up in the main game. Counter-espionage, possibly. I think there's a possibility that it could reduce the amount of sabotages to your gates and your power stations, and that could be a cool thing for the main game. However, I don't think it will be in the main game. Continuing on, my biggest problem with the Innovation Center. Overall, I have to say the Innovation Center looks great. It's a perfect thing for the Jurassic Park DLC. It looks exactly like it does in the film. My big problem with it, though, is where the guests enter. I don't think anybody noticed this, and I didn't notice this from the original screenshot or from me initially watching some of these playthroughs. However, if you look where the guests enter, they enter on the side maintenance doors to the visitor center. They don't enter on the actual front door. Now, I understand Frontier would have to make a new walking animation to walk up to the doors, but I mean, already, they phase through the doors anyway, so I wouldn't really care if they face through the stairs. It would be really nice to have them walk up the stairs and actually face through the doors like normal. I guess my biggest issue with it is that there's not a path connecting to the front stairs. I mean, it's really is annoying to me for some reason that there's this little gap of grass there, even though you know that in the movie it was connected to the main road. They're meant to walk up that. So I guess that's just my biggest annoyance, that a path can't connect to the visitor center right at the stairs, because I don't know, it just looks kind of weird, I'll be honest. But Frontier, please, if you see this, please, can you add just a path there? They don't have to enter through the front door. I don't care. I want a path there. It just doesn't look right to me. Anyway, that is all for today's feature focus. All in all, I am extremely excited for Return to Jurassic Park. Heck, I've wanted this DLC before the game was even announced. JPOG is really expensive, otherwise I probably would have bought that. But since I didn't and I have this game, I'm really excited for this DLC and really hoping that this doesn't ruin what I think of Frontier and making their DLCs. I have a feeling that this campaign is going to be a very good story. They've done a really good job explaining why Alan Grant, Sattler, and Malcolm are back on the island, because remember at the end of Jurassic Park, they didn't really seem like they wanted to come back. And yeah, just really excited, and hopefully Frontier doesn't do anything that messes up this, because I'm really excited for this DLC, and yeah. But anyhow, I do hope you share my excitement for this new DLC, and I do hope that you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please leave a big old thumbs up on this video. That'll be greatly appreciated, and please press the subscribe button if you do enjoy my content and want to see more of it. I will be playing Return to Jurassic Park, hopefully the day it comes out, which is December 10th, so stay tuned for that. It's been Eitistad, guys, and I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.